Everyone, today I'm doing a bit of a reaction to Captain America Brave New World. So, a few people have actually asked me about this upcoming film and what I thought about it. 'Cause there's been some good and some bad preview press. And I got to say, I have not seen the film. I've only seen the trailer to this point, and I really do make it a point not to judge a film before I see it. And I don't like hearing all of the kind of the machinations that are out there from the press and fans and people who maybe they've seen it, maybe they've heard about it, maybe they've seen an early version of it and it's not quite the same version that's coming out. I mean, how different could it possibly be? But in any case, I really don't like making a lot of assumptions about films before they come out, especially ones that are kind of high profile like this, that have a lot of baggage and a lot of people on different sides of the aisles that are coming at this film with all kinds of predispositions and viewpoints that oftentimes have nothing to do with the story and everything to do with choices that the studio has made, and they have lost trust really in the studio to continue to make good choices. So that's kind of what I want to get at with this particular video today. So it's kind of a reaction to the trailer, which is actually kind of interesting. I like how they put it together. You get a sense of what the film is going to be. You get a sense of how it's all going to step out, who the key players are, what the key conflict is going to be. I mean, clearly Sam has got his hands full. He's getting back in bed with the United States military. I mean, who's going to say no to Harrison Ford when he's president? Clearly not Captain America. What does that mean? How's that going to play out? How is that going to play out on the world stage? And what does that mean for him as a person, as well as a superhero? And what are those relationships going to turn into? I do think that's what this movie is going to be about, especially given the line from President Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross gives to Sam when he says, "You may be Captain America, but you're no Steve Rogers." And to me, that line kind of says everything that I need to know before going into the theater. It tells me that the writers and the studio recognize that this Captain America is not seen in the same way that the previous real Captain America has been seen. He doesn't have the same panache. He doesn't have the same respect. He's just not the same human being or character that the original Captain America was. So this really is all about him proving himself. There are lots of ways that characters can step up and be their authentic selves and get the job done and do it in a way that's realistic and honoring the story that's being told on screen. So when I go to see this movie, that's what I'm going to be looking for. Is this a film in which the character is serving the story, or is it the story serving the character and the actor playing the character? And I think the first of those statements, is it the character serving the story, is the one that I find to be the most meaningful, because that's how you make the most diverse content and tell the most authentic stories for the actors who play these characters, as well as for the characters within these stories and the fans who want to see these stories on screen. You really have to have the character serve the story. And if they don't serve the story, they shouldn't be in the film. These characters shouldn't be cast or populated with actors who just fill a visual niche that the studio is trying to hit in order to sell tickets and to kind of check boxes. We're at a point now where anytime you mention checkbox or an actor, suddenly like everybody's antennas go up about, oh my God, is this a diversity or a DEI situation? Is this person deserving of that role? Is this character deserving of the role in this film? And are they undermining not only the franchise, but the story and the character by having this person there? That's just, honestly, it's exhausting. And I just don't want to play into that with any review that I do for a film, because I always think we have to come at these films for how does the character serve the story. I'm breaking into my own video because literally, as soon as I finished recording it and producing it and getting it ready to publish today, because I recorded it yesterday, I ended up seeing a new video from Snarky J, who's someone I really love. I really love watching her videos. I love her takes. Um, and she posted a video about something that Anthony Mackie said about Captain America not representing America. Eh, There's so much to be said about that. There's so many layers to address here. And rather than address those things myself, because frankly, I could say all the things that Snarky J just said, but frankly, she said them so well. Why would I even try? So I just want to share a little snippet of her video.
So let's go ahead and watch this video.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations.
I'm going to save that for last because we're gonna really unpack why saying that Captain America should not represent America. I understand that there is a certain point that Anthony Mackie is making here that I don't think is entirely invalid. Captain America represents more than just America. It represents these important traits in a human being. For certain, absolutely, I can agree with that. But to say that Captain America is not to represent America, that is an egregious statement to make. It is false and it makes no sense.
And when you're done here, I encourage you to go watch her video because she really does dig into what this statement means for the character, for the actor, for the studio, and more importantly, for America and the idea of America, as well as for the world. And I think that's an important message. And there's no reason for me to recreate what she did so very, very well. So one more thing that I want to talk about regarding diversity in storytelling or diversity in characters, diversity in acting, however you want to phrase it, however you want to frame it. When you're dealing with content or topics like this, and you're trying to serve an audience, and I think that's really what studios are trying to do right now, is they're trying to serve an audience, and they're forgetting that you serve the audience by serving the story that is going to do the best it can do for all of the characters involved. And I'm one of those people. If you want to do fan service, do it. I'm fine with fan service. Give me what I want. Give me the character I want to see. Give me the story I'm expecting and tell it in a way that's compelling and gives me a character who's trustworthy and believable and authentic. And I see the truth of who they are on screen when I'm watching that film. And it doesn't matter to me if I'm a woman or a man. It doesn't matter if I'm black or white or Asian. It doesn't matter if the characters are different than I am or not. If you give me a character who seems to only be in the film to serve a purpose other than the story, that character's not going to resonate with me. It's not going to resonate with anyone else. And I have really tried to make a point of holding back on those kinds of judgments and criticisms until I see the work. So I'm giving them a chance with Captain America. I like Anthony Mackie. I actually do like him as an actor. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see what they have to show with the story, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I am not going to like something just because it hits check boxes, and I'm not going to not like something just because it hits check boxes. They have to prove to me that the story is worthwhile. And I will watch that story all the way through and give you my sincere and honest reaction to how I felt when I saw that movie. But I also just want to point out that there are millions of people in the world, and we all come at these stories with different expectations, different levels of familiarity with the content, different ideas of what a Captain America should be, who a Captain America should be, and if a franchise should just end its story and start a new one if an actor ages out or an actor passes away or the story just gets tired and needs a refresh. Do they start at the beginning, at the origin, and then rebuild again? Or do they just transition to a new actor in the same role within the same storylines that we've been getting for the last, I don't know, decade or so? It's an interesting question. It's something that they're actually tackling with Superman by bringing it back and starting it over with a new origin story. And I kind of appreciate that they are not replacing Steve Rogers with Anthony Mackie's version, with Sam's character. They are simply continuing that story, and we'll see how that turns out. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to give it a try because I know there are a lot of audience members out there who aren't going to see this film in the same way. They're going to see it from different perspectives. They're going to see different things in it that they enjoy. They're going to see different parts of the story that resonate with them, whether they're in the United States, whether they're in London, whether they're in Dubai, whether they're in Shanghai. We're all going to get different versions of the story when we take it in. And that's how art works. As you see the art, you internalize it, you personalize it, and then you kind of experience it in that way. So I'm going to review it. My review is going to be different than a lot of other reviewers, and their reviews are going to be different than my review or other reviewers. If we all came out of this with the same perspective, that's when the film has a real problem. If we all have exactly the same take, that's when you know the film is a true failure. So I am curious how people will react once they see the film, how the critics will react once the fans start reacting to the film, how people's takes on their early perspectives on the film without having seen the full thing, how their takes might shift from their original statements about the film. That's the kind of thing that gets me the most excited, that I want to see. I love how films like this are more of a conversation between audience members and critics than they are between the studio and the audience. Because let's face it, half the time the studios don't understand what we're looking for. They don't understand the characters and why we identify with them, how we identify with them, and what we want out of them. And so the real magic of these films, and I think in this case specifically, the real magic of Captain America is going to be how we talk to each other about a brave new world and how we react to each other and how we force them to change the story in the future and how they respond to the fan and critical response to the film. That's, I think, where the power of social media and the enjoyment of community criticism actually comes from. So that's my take on the trailer. I given it a try. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about it too. I know a lot of you are going to hate it. I know a lot of you are going to love it. So I can't wait to hear about your perspective on the trailer as well as the film when the film and the reviews start coming out. Thanks, everybody. I will see y'all again soon. In the meantime, happy viewing, and why not check out one of these reviews? See you later. Bye.